And I'm James Bush. Oh, it's been going pretty good. I haven't done any fishing yet in the last couple weeks, but um, hopefully I can get to go maybe this weekend or whatever. Maybe I can go out and do a little bit of fishing. I haven't noticed any difference in normal down here yet. The river seemed a little high, but I didn't see anything. It's normally if it was real high, we should be flooded by now down here. So um, it's unusual that everywhere else is flooding and we're not flooding. But yeah, normally, I mean, for bugs to be that high, I mean, and I heard Gaston's high right now, so, and all them lakes all the feeder lakes down here are for Gaston and everything like that. From, all the small lakes down here is what Gaston and bugs are for. So I would think that those lakes would be high, not unless they're just holding everything back, you know? So that might be what they're doing and just gradually letting it out like normal just so it doesn't flood down here. I don't know. Yeah, you should be able to put in anywhere. You can put in anywhere now. You can put in downtown South Boston right now if you want. I know you ain't even got to drive as far. Yeah, yeah. I heard that from one of the guys that I know that the fish had just started spawning in Gaston this week. Oh, it was a blast. Um, I didn't catch any real big fish, but it sure did feel like I caught big fish in it just because it's pulling me all around. Um, I actually made an order with Bob's up the creek the other week and got me some more little goodies in, so I can start getting my kayak a little bit more right to fit in my needs, for fishing. So hopefully I'll probably be doing a video on my hog trough and everything like that, how I've set it up and everything for me, um, here in the next week or so. Just trying to get everything together that I want to do, and but yeah, man. I mean, I loved it. Just getting out there on the water in it. It's a whole different feeling. Um, I went to the river the other day. Yesterday, we just rode by the river because I just wanted to see if it was up. And I told my wife, so I wish I had that kayak with me so I could put it in the water just for at least a few. And I feel like I got a spot down there I could definitely do a short little paddle to and load the boat, I'm sure. Yeah, I've been fiddling with it a little bit here and there. So I'm hoping I'll have my other stuff in to be able to, I'm just trying to tweak it, because it's just so new, and I've only been out in it once. And I know there's some things that I had to get just to make it a little bit more easier to use, So I'll do some few modifications to mine and just, you know, personalize it for myself.
Yes, sir. What's going on? I'm fantastic. On the way home, almost there. You got about an hour left.
Oh man.
I hear you.
So I know it's probably been a tough event for you. Um, just Beaver Lake, which was a lot of weather changes and all of that, but kind of want to jump right in on that, man. Tell us a little bit about how that went for you, if you like. If it's too depressing, I can understand.
Oh, oh, I got some redemption today. I'm over it now.
uh,
Uh, Beaver was challenging. I'm from Arkansas, but I've only fished Beaver Lake a couple of times. But I'm comfortable with that type of fishery. And first day of practice, I was trying to find some fish on the bed, and I found better than 15 pounds sight fishing, and I thought I could catch. Well, the lake come up 3 foot on our off day, so that ruined my sight fishing plan. Uh, another day of practice, I caught some smallmouth, and I was pretty confident about that, and I caught some largemouth as well in the afternoon. So I had a really good day the second day, and third day of practice, the same thing. I went back for largemouth and had 10 or 12 more bites, and I felt really good about it. Well, the lake came up 3 foot on Wednesday and trashed everything I found for largemouth, trashed all my sight fishing fish, and smallmouth. They shrunk. I caught plenty of them, but it was a lot easier to catch a keeper in practice, and they got really tough on me in a tournament. Second day of the tournament, I just tried to adjust a little bit and fish in new water, and never got it going. I mean, I guess sometimes you just don't do it, and I wish I would have fished my strengths a little bit. I fished for smallmouth a lot in that tournament, trying to not to bomb, because I knew they would be more stable than the largemouth up in the river, and with the water coming up so much and the water color changing. But I bombed anyway.
Yeah.
But today we had a charity event for the Arkansas Children's Hospital, and I volunteered to go fish that today. And I caught about a 2.5 pounder, about my third cast. About an hour later, I caught one that weighed 5.5. And this is a giant out there. And we ended up only getting 3 keepers, but they weighed 10 pounds. I lost one other 3-pounder, which hurt us a little bit, but it felt good to finally get on some solid fish. And I fished the way I wanted to fish, and I didn't go for smallmouth at all. I fished for largemouth the whole time, and got all my confidence back. We had a solid little bag. It was a good day.
Heck yeah, man. That's all. At least like I say, you got some redemption and bit your confidence up. You ain't coming back with your tail tucked between your legs.
It's okay. I fished the Grand Lake Costa Series tournament the week before Beaver, and I finished 21st there and made almost $3,000. So at least I got a little bit of money in my pocket coming home.
That's right. It wasn't a wasted trip.
You what?
I said, well, yeah, at least it wasn't a wasted trip. You know what I mean?
Correct. I've been on the road, I think, for 16 days in a row, so I'm ready to get in my bed.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Tell us a little bit how your year's going. I mean, what's it looking like for the Cup so far, and making that, and I mean, but kind of as a double question here. I don't know. It's going to be 2 questions in one here. How are things looking for you this year, and what have you learned this year since being on the tour? Is there any kind of just with it being the business side of it or the fishing side of it? But start off about how your year's going with so far for you.
Well, the first event on Guntersville, this was my very first event ever. I finished 139th, and that was a little heartbreaking, say. That's the only event I pre-practiced on. I found them really, really good in pre-practice, and I learned really quick that they don't always stay there. And I tried to fish a lot of memories that tournament, and they weren't there, and I had a terrible event. That is probably the biggest thing I've learned this year, is to try to fish in the moment. I don't pre-practice anymore. If I have 3 days of practice, surely I can find something in the 3 days, and so I won't have to go pre-practice anymore. I haven't pre-practiced anymore, and I had a better every other event this year has been great. Finished 139th at Guntersville. I bounced back at Lake Travis in Texas with a 3rd place finish. So that got the ball going good. Then we went to Harris Train in Florida. I finished 70th there. Missed the check by like 1 pound and 2 ounces, I think. But I was still really confident there. I really thought I was on a winning fish. They up and left the night before the tournament, but they were there. But that was still a good event, good points event. The next tournament we went to Cumberland in Kentucky. I cracked 17 pounds the first day. I had one that almost weighed 6. Was in 10th overall the first day. The second day got really, really tough. Scratched out 10 pounds and ended up finishing 25th in the tournament. Missed the 20 cut by like 7 ounces, I think. But that still, I mean, good points, good check, a lot of momentum going in the Beaver. And then we had a little slip up here at Beaver this week, but we're going to get over that. I think I was sitting 43rd in the point coming into this week, and then I slipped to 72nd, I think now. With 2 events to go, it's still possible to make the cut. Let's have 2 really strong events.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible at all. But that's another thing I learned in this game. I learned really quickly. You necessarily don't have to be that good to make the cut. As far as like, you don't have to top 10 every tournament or something, but you just need to be consistent and not bomb any. Because I have 2 major bombs this year, and it's really hurt me points wise. You can consistently be, even if you're just above 100 every time, and have a couple of really good strong finishes, you'll probably make the cut. But now I need really 2 top 20s probably to make it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go ahead, James. You got a question for him?
no, I was just.
Oh, okay.
You go ahead.
Well, yeah, man. Like I say, you got to just keep your head up and keep going. And I think you'll be able to do it. That's why I see.
Right. This.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say this thing is so mental as well. That's something else. I mean, I see some awesome fishermen down there on the bottom of the list sometimes, and it's in their head. They don't have the confidence. I mean, if you let it get in your head that you don't think you're good enough to be out there, then you don't need to be out there at all. I mean, you have to stay confident and try to keep the momentum going, and everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah. What has there been any kind of techniques you've kind of learned this year from any of the guys, or just talking with any of them, or is you just kind of staying to what you know and?
No, I mean, I really haven't really learned any new techniques. I've been trying to fish my strengths a lot of times. I've spent a lot of the year shallow, almost every tournament, except for this one. I decided I would go out there deep and screw up, but but I mean, every tournament I have got to fish shallow. I mean, I've been flipping and throwing a spinnerbait and just the Texas rig, and almost every one that I've done well in. But as far as new techniques, no, not yet anyway. Now, when we get up there and cross the Potomac, that might come to play.
Yeah. So our show this month has been, we're all going to be kind of basing everything off post spawn fishing. When it comes, and this is kind of where you're at, and I don't know, depending on which lake you're at right now, but what are some ways you like to go try to find post-spawn bass and catch post-spawn bass?
In Arkansas, especially mid to South Arkansas, a lot of lakes are starting to be on post-spawn. And then initially you have, I start that like with fry garters when the fry hatch, they'll hang around there, and I like catching those fish with with a wacky worm or maybe a topwater, something like that. And after they get done guarding fry, they'll move out a little bit to first drops maybe, or first little points, and same deal. I like catching them on topwater. That's probably my favorite way to catch them. And they'll eventually move out, to the ledges, and you can catch them on a crankbait or Carolina rig or big worm, stuff like that. Eventually, here in a few weeks. But May fish, they're still hanging around shallow somewhat and mid depth range, and it's really open to a lot of things. You can catch them like on Dardanelle. You can catch them swimming a jig a lot, and it's really, they don't necessarily just automatically go out there to deep water as soon as they get that spot.
Yeah, and a lot of them probably stay up too and go with the perch spawn. I mean, do you see that where you'll start seeing bass hanging around the perch beds and?
You cut out on me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you see like you got your the perch coming up, the bluegill and all that starting to spawn as well. I mean, do you look for stuff like that too to stay shallow? I mean, do you see
Yes.
any fish cruising around there?
Yes, especially on like our central Arkansas lakes. So they all have a lot of bluegill. I mean, like your Lake DeGray and Lake Hamilton, Lake Ouachita, clear lakes. Those bluegill, they all bed up there shallow. I mean, it's pretty much a known deal. Anytime any big event comes to Lake Ouachita, there's always a bluegill bite going on. But especially this time of year, I mean, they'll start getting up beds early, and yes, those big fish will hang around those beds, and it's a good time to catch them.
And when it comes down to, I know you was talking about the chop waters. What is there? When say you see a good bluegill beds. I mean, do you start throwing swim baits? You start throwing something that looks more like a bluegill? I know you said something about a swim jig.
I mean, I like to throw like you can throw like a wacky worm or a prop bait. That's really common over bluegill beds. That's probably the number one deal. If you can see them ahead of time, a lot of times you can see those fish being little wolf packs. If you can see them, you can throw ahead of them like with a little wacky rig or like a Cinco maybe. That's a good way to catch them. But or if you're just trying to cover water, I'll pick up a prop bait or even a popper of some sort, like a yellow magic or something. That's a good bait to use.
Yeah. What once they start kind of pulling off and moving off the flats, and you say they start going onto the ledges and the points and stuff, are you more like, do you like throwing worms? Do you throw crankbaits much on them, or?
I do both. It depends on what's down there. I mean, some places you have, it's just they pull out just the points. It might be a bare point, and you can throw a crankbait easy over there. Well, they might pull out to a big brush pile, and that's that might be more suitable for a big worm or a Carolina rig. Some places also, like Tennessee River, or a lot of river systems in general, have shell beds. Same deal. You can throw a crankbait or a big worm, either one. That's probably my favorite way to catch them. I look for that a lot this time of year. Well, here, going for the next month or two.
Yeah. Now, I hear a lot of guys talk, like you watch Elites and FLW, and you hear the guys talking about shell beds. And what do y'all do to find those? I mean, how do you locate those? I know does your sonar pick up shell beds, or is that something you just kind of, you're cranking, you find some? Or, I mean, around here, we
I think it
feel
depends
rock,
where you're at. Right. It depends where you're at. Like Tennessee River, those ledges are, they're deeper. They're 10, 20 foot. And you can, like on your side imaging, you can see looks like hard spots. It looks like rock of some sort. It'd be harder returns on your 2D sonar. But places like Lake Darnell, they're shallow ledges. I mean, there may only be 6 foot on top, 4 foot on top, and you can't. It's harder to idle those. And places like that, you just have to pretty much just drag and feel for them. And I mean, it's a river system, so I mean, a lot of it's soft and soft bottom, and then all of a sudden you'll start feeling what feels like little rocks down there. And every once in a while you'll hook one on your crankbait, when you're reeling it in, or your one will clamp down on your Carolina rig weight, something like that. But something on a shallower fishery, to me, it's more just feeling for them. And places where current hits, they'll get on places like that. It keeps them like any kind of corner or point. That's where the shell bed will be, because the current will keep it clean.
Yeah, keep it washed up there, or like I say, keep it clean, nothing on there. So let's see, you're coming up to a lake, and I don't know, I was trying to think of a lake you really didn't know much about, but I really can't think of one off the top of my head. But let's say you can go up and you're going to practice for it, and it's a post-spawn thing. Are you going to start out shallow and start looking, or would you start out deep, try to find your big fish, and just kind of move up shallow? Because that's the time of the year where your bite, if you stay shallow, could you run out of fish at that time,
It could go either way. I mean, it really just depends on how how far along it is. I mean, you kind of have to practice both ways and see where the majority of the fish are. Like Kentucky Lake, for instance. I mean, there's probably always fish shallow and deep up there, but when they first start getting out there, they're a lot easier to catch than they are after they've been beat up on for a month. So, like, when you get up there, like, your winning stringer is usually going to be out deep. And that's probably the case for a lot of lakes, a lot of the time. But you just have to try both ways. I mean, that's like, it's hard to say either way. I mean, if it's real late, like late in the May, almost June, yeah, I probably won't even go to the bank. But but if it's the first part of May, some fish just got done spawning, I'll probably hang around the bank a couple more weeks.
Yeah. Well, we know. I know you're probably getting close to home, but I just want to ask you a little question. I've been following you on Facebook and following Melinda, and is she down there in the Keys right now?
She's in the Florida Keys right now.
Oh my gosh.
Easy money.
No lie. How did that work out? You know what I mean? Why ain't you down there?
I said, why are y'all going to the Keys? She said, we are having a meeting. I said, why don't you just have a meeting in the office? She said, well, if we go to the office, people bother us. We can't get anything done. We have to go somewhere. Oh, you go to the Keys. You can't go to a library or something.
No.
You can't do that. You got to go.
Or
So
shut
they're
the office
they're
door.
in the Florida Keys, and right, and they'll have I think they had a meeting today, all day, and last night, but I think tomorrow, the next day, they get to go catch tarpon, and I think she said something about going peacock bass fishing.
What the world? Man.
Oh yeah, it's a hard life for her.
Yeah. Well, my resume will be sent to you and Melinda to make sure both of y'all get it tomorrow. I'll be starting to look for a job at Costa. So,
All right.
Yeah, I'm about tired of turning wrenches. I think I'm gonna start working for Costa.
All right. She said she's gonna have to use a fly rod to catch tarpon.
Oh,
She was
man.
wanting to take a bait caster and a big spook. I said, this fly rod sounds fine. You're going tarpon fishing. Don't complain. I'll be in Arkansas hanging out while you're down there in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about your luck, hon.
Right. We can trade if you want to trade. I'll take a Coke can and a string and throw it out there if I have to.
That's crazy, man. Well, but I want to let you get going. I know you're getting close to being home and you want to see your kids and spend some time with them. So I wish you the best this year, man, and hope everything works out for you. And we'll try to get you back on towards the end of the year to kind of let us know how the rest of your year played out.
Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate y'all having me on, and I mean, anytime I'm willing to call in. No problem at all.
Yeah,
All right.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, and also, man, it was great to see you down at the Classic too. I meant to say that finally kind of meet you in person and talk to you a little bit. And I tagged I tagged your video that you did for the sunglasses in this in this show. So if anybody's watching want to see your video some more, we got it tagged in the comments and below. So, but like I said, I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Good luck this year, and like I said, we'll get you on the end of the year.
Awesome, bud. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. You too.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, guys, I had a buddy text me. Now, the guys on Blog Talk and the people that be listening to Stitcher and iTunes, what to show without screw up. So, me, accidentally had something off here. Got it figured out. So everybody was on YouTube the first couple minutes of the show. Sorry you didn't hear me. They heard James. Didn't hear me. But, what's a good show without a screw up or two, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So means we're not teetotally perfect, anyways. Man, that was great. I always have a good time talking to Dylan. He's a really good guy, genuine guy, and he's just got that straight Arkansas flow. You know, like it's, you know, when we went down there and talked to them at the Classic, man, you know, they're just great people. You know what I mean? Good country people, and it's just funny. Like we all went to Houston, you got all them country people in that big city. You know what I mean? Like it was just it was a good time. But like I say, he's a great guy, and I wish him the best this year. And he's a really good fisherman. So, but yeah, I was just trying to want to pick his brain to see, you know, like if there's anything new technique wise that he's been doing. But that goes to show you what kind of person he is. He sticks to what he knows and doesn't try anything new. Not unless, you know, he probably tries something when he's not fishing a tournament, which I don't blame him. But I guess once you get good at something, what's the use to trying something different that can mess you up, you know?
Well, you know just as well as I do, most of the time we resort right back to the stuff we used to do years and years ago.
Yeah.
So you really can't beat a Texas rig, wacky rig, and, you know,
Yeah, well,
and you're
drop
just
shot.
little top waters and stuff.
Yep. And that's what I was gonna say around this time of the year. That's kind of like my thing is, I start getting more into the shaky head and wacky rig, and then, you know, in the top water as well. But I'm always hit and miss with the top water. You know, it's some days it's great and some days it just sucks. So, it's always hit and miss for me on the post spawn part with the top water. But it always seems like, though, when I get on a top water bite, it is as far back in the creek as you can possibly get. It's not something that's like on the main channel or, you know, close to the main channel. It's always like it's in the very far back of the creek. So, but we got the guys calling in from LU bass fishing team. They ended up placing second in this weekend's tournament, which also got them qualified for the 2018 Nationals. They're already qualified for the 2017 Nationals. So we're gonna get them on. It's gonna be a couple of guys hanging around the phone talking. So we're gonna see what we can do about talking about what they got going to come up for the 2017 Nationals, but also, you know, how they qualified for 2018 Nationals on High Lake. So let me go ahead and get them. Hey guys, y'all there?
Yeah, we're here. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad, man. I appreciate y'all calling in tonight.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you having us. Absolutely. Definitely.
So, what's college life? How's college life been treating y'all right now?
I was studying for exams, trying to keep the wheels on. Trying to fish around the academics.
I hear it. Now, how do y'all do that? I mean, do y'all have any conflict sometimes with certain classes when you're out fishing some of these events?
Yeah, it takes the right kind of professor to keep your grades up. You know, most of them at Liberty, they're real good about keeping us, you know, allowing us to do what we need to do to go out there and fish. But it makes it tough. You know, we've sat in the hotel room at midnight in nowhere, Kentucky, doing math projects and writing papers before. So.
True. Yeah,
I hear you.
That's crazy. But I mean, it definitely, you know, if you think about it, it definitely prepares you. You know, if one of y'all make it to the elites or the FLW series, I guess it kind of prepares you, man, because you're doing the off the water work, and the you know, and then you go out fishing doing the on the water work. So I guess it kind of prepares you for that if you know, if y'all have a chance at making any elites or the FLW. So
absolutely, it takes a lot of time management for sure.
So, any of you guys did y'all start out fishing like high school tournaments or anything like that, or did y'all just kind of come to LU and try out for the team?
Yeah, I actually started out when I was about 11 years old, fishing in tournaments, and then eventually some state championships, and that kind of evolved into high school, and then kind of climaxed here at Liberty. So it's been a journey, but you learn so much through that kind of progression, working your way up.
Yeah, I started out as a kid, you know, just kind of a pond hopping hero, and I walked into the tackle box used to be up there off of Timberlake Road in Lynchburg, and saw a flyer for a youth bass club and signed up. And ever since then, my fishing has revolved around bass tournaments. And I got to say, the youth league, more than anything, really got me to a point where I could compete well at the college level. A lot of those guys are behind the 8 ball because they didn't have that. And I was really blessed to be able to come up through the ranks in the Virginia youth league and really gain a lot of knowledge from a lot of really good boat captains and a lot of really good mentors. And it was a really, really good program for sure.
And I'm kind of the oddball of this group. I grew up just kind of fishing with my grandfather and whatnot, and fishing out of just an aluminum bass boat. I got to Liberty, found out we had a bass club. There was no tryouts at the time. Got on the team, started fishing out of an aluminum bass boat. Within the one season, became the vice president and just kind of ran from it with there.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And I know if, I was talking to, I can't remember who it was I was talking to yesterday. And if they had this in high school, when me and James was in high school, I mean, granted, we used to, our 11th grade and senior year, when we was in high school, we had a little V-bottom boat, and we used to go out fishing. Some of the other kids were partying and stuff, and if they would have had a high school fishing team then, I'd probably would have been 10 times better in school. I'd have been trying to make it to college just to go fish at college. The collegiate series.
We joke about it all the time. When we went through, it was kind of like kind of an oddball thing, kind of goofy to be like, yeah, I'm a high school bass fisherman, and now like it's gotten to the point where it's like it's a cool thing now, and it's awesome to see. Yeah. It's even grown leaps and bounds since we've come through it.
Yeah, well, that's just I know Jefferson Forest. That was where we went to school, and they got a nice bass club that's been growing, and they were down at I think Bugs Island fishing the youth series down there. So it's just cool seeing that grow, and especially at our school. But now to see the collegiate series, I know they've been going on for a while. How long has LU had y'all's team?
So the team has been around since about 2012, and I'll tell you, when me and Brian were freshmen, the guys that were running it before were getting ready to graduate, and they just approached us and said, "Do you guys want to run the bass club?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "We need somebody to run it because there's nobody left." And I said, "Well, I guess we'll take it." And we literally got the thing in a New Balance shoebox, and it had an envelope that had about $300 in it, and some T-shirts, and a notebook paper handwritten roster, and that's all we started with. And we just kind of took off from there, and we were blessed, picked up some sponsors right off the bat, and got some talent that we didn't know we were going to get, and maybe even did a little better than we thought we were going to do, and it's kind of grown from there.
So when one comes on to starts college, how does one go in and say, hey, I want to fish with y'all? It's a process, right, to get onto the team?
It is a process. We host a tryout tournament now every fall semester. Usually a 3-tournament series, and we take the top 3 to 5 guys out of the end of after the last tournament every season, and put them on the team. And then the other guys we keep on a roster, and we call them up as backups are needed.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's makes you fish for it. So.
Oh yeah.
Now, how do y'all do with boats? I work over at LU a lot with working on equipment and stuff. And where do y'all keep y'all's boats at? You ain't got to tell me that because to be honest with you, that wouldn't be a good idea. But y'all have go ahead.
We actually were approached a couple years back by the director of the local Fishers of Men chapter. I think you guys actually may even know him, Russ Nixon. And he more or less volunteered to be our coach, and he's been really good. He's provided us with some boat storage and places to charge them, and a lot of mentorship over the years. He's given us a lot of tournament philosophy and a whole lot of information on the lakes, and he's really helped us a whole lot, especially in keeping the boats, because LU's told us over and over that they really don't have anywhere on campus for us to keep it, and he's been generous enough to give us a parking lot to keep them in. So everybody on LU's bass team pretty much keeps their boats right outside his business about 5 minutes from campus, which has been great.
Like Scott said, we just keep them over at Russ Nixon's place, and he helps us with a lot of the boat issues, boat problems, especially with trolling motors. This past week, I think 4 boats on the team have had trolling motor issues. I know mine's personally broken 3 times, and I actually have a trolling motor on my boat right now that I borrowed from Russ. So he's been a great help. Yeah, and in those times when you just feel down, Russ Nixon gives you some great like motivation and encouragement on the water. He makes sure your head stays on and gets you focused.
Yeah, he's coaching wise. He's been really good to us. I mean, we can't say enough about Russ.
Yeah. Yeah, I fish against Russell Nixon sometimes in one of the castaway clubs that we fish, and he was actually on our show. I want to say it was earlier this year, but I can't remember if it was our second or third show into the year. But he come on and we actually had him on for Fishers and Men, and we got on about LU's fishing team, and he really loves doing that, and he's got a great passion for it, and he does really good with just the Fishers and Men and all that too. So.
Oh yeah, and on that, the best part about that. So if you go to Liberty, it's pretty much common knowledge that you have to do Christian service hours, and he set us up to be able to do it through the Fishers and Men, which has been, if nothing else, that has been absolutely a dream because it really does beat handing out flyers at Thomas Road. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and when you get to do it with something you love to do, that makes it easier. So, so tell us a little bit about how this weekend's tournament went for y'all. I know y'all ended up placing second. How did it go for you? I mean, did y'all have a great practice going into it, or I mean, how did it all work out for you?
Yeah, me and Brian will talk first, and then we'll hand it over to Sky. But basically, our strategy was to go ahead and find some smallmouth that we knew would bite during the tournament, and that's what we did. And we had 4 fish in the live well by 8 o'clock. And after that, we ran some other spots and had some frustrations. Basically, I had a 5-pounder to the boat, and he came up and threw something, and it was just frustrating. And then, like Brian said, right after that, our trolling motor broke. And so we were frustrated, and basically we had a big one on the bed. And we said, all right, we're going to go over here in this calm pocket and fish for this big one while you fix the trolling motor, Brian. And Brian, like a stud, fixed the trolling motor. And as soon as he fixed it, I was able to put that 6-pounder in the boat. And basically every call from there was just dead on the money, catching some smallmouth on the beds, some fish in some areas.
Yeah, as Caleb was saying, we had a lot of issues. The morning started off amazing for us. Within 15 minutes of us, boat launch, we had 2 fish in the boat within like 10 casts. And we're like, all right, here we go. We ran to our next spot, got another fish in the boat, ran to another spot, and within like 4 casts there, put another one in the boat. Things couldn't have gone better that day. But the trolling motor, we went on a lull. We lost the 5-pounder. I broke another probably 4-pounder off right at the same time that Caleb lost his 5. And then the trolling motor just stops working. It ended up being a simple just plug wiring issue. Took me a little bit to get it rewired, but just couldn't get it safe. But if that hadn't happened, we may never have gone over to our big fish on the bed, and things may not have worked out the way it had, and we may not have had 17 pounds. So just things all worked out in the end, and we kept our cool, and we're able to just pull through and fish.
Yeah, like our sponsor Doomsday says, you got to fish to the end, and that's what we did. So.
Well, that's awesome, guys. It's one of the things, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And you hear a lot of pros talk about it. And, for a lot of people the wheels would have spun off with that kind of situation. You lose 2 big fish and your trolling motor's going. And that right there, that's enough right there just to ruin the rest of your day. So for y'all to keep you cool and work your way through it, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a learning experience, and something we'll carry through to the national championship for this year and next year.
Yeah, one thing that me and Brian have really tried to do is every tournament, whether we do well or not, what separates the good fishermen from the great is they're always learning and they're always adjusting. So with whatever situation we go into, we try to come out a better fisherman, smarter on the water, and hopefully more equipped to do well in the future.
Well, that's good, guys. Now, tell us a little bit about the 2017 championship. Where's that going to be at?
Well, that's going to be on Lake Wheeler down in Alabama.
Okay.
And it's going to be an interesting event. A lot of guys are saying it's going to be one shallow. Caleb and I personally think it might be one deeper. The other team going is going to be fishing shallow. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's shallow, but we have an interesting team because we kind of help each other out because I fish a whole lot different than Brian and Caleb do. Like even this past weekend on Smith Mountain, I kind of even had an idea what they were going to do, but if anybody that knows me knows when it comes to Smith Mountain, I'm notorious for having a really good practice and then crashing and burning. So this year I told my partner, I said, we're just going to go in and we're going to pre-fish it and we're going to junk fish and we're going to see what we do. And then we're going to fish the tournament and we're going to junk fish. And hopefully we're good enough that by the end of the day we'll come across something that'll help us. And we went out and got 2 fish real early. Couple hours after that, got another one, but they didn't weigh anything. We might have had 3 fish for 4.5 pounds, and couldn't figure out what to do. And I decided, I realized that the water had gotten a lot clearer because we were doing a lot of finesse stuff and a lot of topwater action in the morning. And with the fish that we had been targeting were all on docks. And what we realized was a lot of those fish that were relating to the docks, I guess it got so hot and the water got so clear that what had been relating to the docks was just out swimming in the middle of the pocket, and we just couldn't do anything with them. So about 1 o'clock, we decided we ran all the way back down to the bottom of the very back of Craddock, and the water got dirty. And at that point, 3 fish in the well that didn't really weigh anything, kind of in desperation mode. And truth be told, I kind of looked up and said a little prayer, and I was like, Lord, I'm going to need a hand with this because we're hurting. And about 2 minutes after that, I rolled up on this stump and I looked at my partner. I said, Ethan, look at this carp laying on this stump. And I flipped the shaky head over to it and it rolled over on it and turned green. And I said, oh my gosh. And we rolled up a little bit closer to it and looked down at it and we're like, golly, man, that's like a 5.5 pounder. And about that time, a 4 pounder rolled up right beside it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And right as I was thinking that one, about 3.5 pulled up beside it. And within 20 minutes, we had all 3 of those fish in our live well, and it pulled up to what we weighed in. So it was just crazy how it happened, but it was just kind of the way we fished. So I said, we're just going to go out, and hopefully by the end of the day, we'll come across something that'll put us in there, and it ended up working out for us.
Yeah. Now, I've had a couple of those moments where, you got 4 fish in a live well, and you're like, Lord. And it's happened like the next cast where you're like, Lord, just give me one more good fish that, help give me what I need. And you make that cast and boom, you catch a big one. You're like, you can't believe that just happened, but you have to. But it's just like, I love those moments.
My partner was laughing at me. He was laughing at me because I said that. I looked up and I said, Lord, I'm going to need some help. And then about, a minute and a half after that, I looked back up and said, that'll do.
Yeah, my buddy Chris, he was fishing with me in a night tournament a while back, and it was getting towards the end, and I had 3 fish in the box, and I'd just sit there, and I took a break, eating a little sandwich, and I said, Lord, I really need a good 5 pounder in the boat right now. If I'm gonna do anything, I need a 5 pounder in the boat. And no sooner as I made that cast, I hang into this monster fish, and it pulls up and get it. It's about a 5-pound flathead, and I was like, "I got you, buddy. I need a 5-pound largemouth next time, not a catfish."
Yeah, I hear you.
But
been there and done that too. But it kind of helps. It really was a confidence booster looking forward to Wheeler. Because when you look at Wheeler, especially being from where we're at, we really just haven't had a whole lot of time to look at this place. And compared to the lakes we fish, it's a monster. And it's got ledges, it's got creek channels, points, shallow water, deep water. It's got the Decatur Flats. It's got, the kind of little creek channels that like John Cox won the FLW Cup. It's a lot to take in. And a whole lot of it's going to be in that week prior, just kind of fishing the moment and fishing the water that's in front of you and just kind of process that. And I think, we've really, both of us, both teams going down there, we've really gotten into a place where at least we'll have a lot of confidence doing, breaking it down, knowing that, we can put some in the boat before it's over.
Yeah. And something I've learned too, man, is I always tell people, if you can catch fish on Smith, you can about catch fish anywhere else, because it is something about Smith Lake, it can be tough. And once you wrap your head around that, it seems like, you go to fish Smith and you go down to Bugs Island, it seems easier. And you can either crash and burn, or you can be a hero on Smith. So, but yeah, so I mean, having the knowledge of Smith and going down there on Wheeler, I think you got a good advantage there on that side. Now, are you guys?
Yeah, we know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, yeah. At least, fishing Smith, it makes you mentally tough anyway. It gets you. You don't take anything for granted, and we have a fishing work ethic anyway. If nothing else, we got the work ethic to go out and try and do what we can.
Yeah, that's right. Now, are y'all going to try to get any pre-fishing time in, or are y'all just going to go down there during the practice time and go for it?
So Caleb and I were fortunate enough to go down over our spring break and spend the week in Alabama, fishing the lake every day. Granted, that week of spring break, it dropped down to, I think the lowest temperature was 19 degrees while we were there. Had ice forming on our lines in northern Alabama. We were expecting a nice, warm spring break down in Alabama, but that didn't happen. But we got to get our eyes on the water. We got to mark a lot of spots and do a lot of graphing and whatnot. Check out and get our eyes on some of the shallow water areas. Now, as far as pre-fishing before the tournament, we're given 2.5 days of practice, official practice before the event. Other than that, we're not really going to be able to get down there. The lake goes off limits May 15th through May 27th. So, being a 12-hour drive away, we're going to go down and run our areas that we ran back over spring break and see what we can find.
And that's kind of where the strategy comes into play. Sky was saying he's going to fish shallow, and he'll be able to cover a lot of water in that 2.5 days, whereas Brian and I are hoping to run in some of the spots that we graphed that weren't holding fish at the time to hopefully maybe find a few schools of bass that will come into play. And if not, then maybe we'll move shallow too. We just don't know that yet.
And the thing is, fishing deep for us is something that we don't do all that often. The shallow bite definitely suits our strong areas, but we're willing to kind of push that aside to fish for what could potentially win the tournament.
Yeah. And one thing too about it, as a team, we spent a lot of time on the upper part of the Tennessee River, fishing lakes on Lake Kentucky, but it seems like we've done a whole lot better on the lake that's actually over on the Cumberland River side, just driving through the channel over on Barkley. And, kind of comparing the two maps, Wheeler and Barkley have a whole lot of similarities. So at least doing this type of fishing, we have a lot of experience. At least we're not going to be lost when we get down there. And, having two teams down there helps out tremendously because we can break down the lake. It's kind of like, we always compare it to like NASCAR, where we'll help each other get set up and then still try to slingshot each other on the final lap, and that's all well and good, but we just try not to leave anybody hanging with nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Now, where's the 2018? Have they said where that one's going to be at?
Yeah, they told us just the other day. They said they're not going to release it until November. I'm not even sure if they know where it's going to be at yet, to be honest. I got you. It's usually somewhere the FLW Cup has been pretty recently.
Okay, got you. Well, yeah, that's cool. Now, how with I know y'all got schoolwork and some of y'all might work jobs. I'm not real sure, but how does the funding on a collegiate team? Does LU help with that, or have they recognized it, or is that kind of something y'all just pull together and split the expense?
It really
that's a tough question.
That's a tough question to answer because it's kind of a rough spot because us and LU, at least the administration side of it, really haven't seen eye to eye on what the bass team is. I really think, truth be told, that we're kind of fighting a stigma because it's kind of hard to convince some of the people in upper management that we're more than just a bunch of guys sitting on the bank, drinking Gatorade and throwing a bobber in the water.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we're just kind of fighting that, that stereotype. But, we got a pretty large following at Liberty now, and the club is growing leaps and bounds every year, and they are acknowledging us more and more, but we really don't receive any funding.
I got you.
And we've even had people like last week up on Smith Mountain, we had a guy call about around Christmas time and said, I really want to take my son down there and let him fish with one of you guys, and I want to do a meet and greet with the team. We watched the 2015 National Championship where you guys had a team finish second, and we just think Liberty's the bomb, and we didn't even know about him before we watched that. And he ended up coming down last weekend and fishing with me for the morning, and we got on some school and smallmouth and got him a jersey and stuff. And that was, I got to say, on the level of fun that was one of the funnest days of fishing I've ever had. That was really, that really was a treat.
Awesome. So,
but yeah, for as far as go ahead.
I was saying, did they look at? Are they looking at sending his son to that school after that, or?
Yeah, it was cool. The kid loves basketball and he loves bass fishing, and they were actually able to get into the basketball department and go in and shoot some hoops in the gym and meet some of the team and kind of tour the facilities and stuff. And then after that, we took him fishing, and he's only about 10 or 11 years old, something like that. And but yeah, he was a good fisherman. He was definitely better than I was at that age, and I'm sure he'll be a future recruit, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, what was you going to say? I'm sorry when I interrupted you on that. What was you going to say about the rest of the part about LU?
Oh, it's just a process. It's like anything else. As we keep growing and as we keep doing well, it gets to a point where they can't not acknowledge us, and we've even been told by SGA, y'all win too much money for us to even handle you. So we get, even into some trouble with that, because they said, we're used to clubs bringing in, they need $300, $400 for pizza, and you guys are dropping $2,000 checks in every 4 or 5 months. And, so that's been interesting, but what we're really trying to do is work towards becoming a club sport where, it wouldn't be a scholarship or anything, but we'd have a coach on salary, and we'd pay a flat rate at the beginning of the season, and everything else would be paid for. That would take a lot of stress off a lot of the guys on the team, because what it is now, a whole lot of it is us paying for, guys working jobs, but the other side of that is a lot of the parents are eating a lot of that financial burden too, just trying to let their kids live the dream.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. Y'all working hard to make it happen. So that's the main thing. I'd much rather see somebody work hard to make it happen than just fall in their lap. So, but that's awesome. How everything's worked out for the team, and I just wish y'all the best in 2017, the rest of this season, and into 2018 season. So, but. James,
yeah, we really appreciate that.
Yeah. Just being a local team. I know we got so many, and I wanted to do in March, but it got so busy. I wanted to do like a March Madness show. I wanted to get Virginia Tech and y'all and a couple other colleges here around Virginia and get everybody on. And we still might try to do something like that. But yeah, it's just cool just to see all the teams around here and all of most of the collegiate teams around here do pretty good.
Oh yeah,
they do. Virginia Tech used to be top of the top, and they're still really good to this day. They qualified, I think, 4 or 5 teams last year for Wheeler at Smith Mountain, and we really enjoyed fishing against them. We've gotten to know several of those guys over there and some other college teams here in the state, and just grown, healthy rivalries and whatnot.
Yeah, and they've got rankings for this stuff now, and if I'm not mistaken, the last time I looked, including us, Virginia's got like 4 teams in the top 30 in the nation for the whole deal. So but it kind of goes back to what you said earlier. If you can fish around here on the lakes we have and catch them, you can go anywhere else and at least be competitive anyway.
Yeah. And
that's just but it's stiff competition for sure. The college series, I remember watching it when it first got started, and I was back in like 8th, 9th grade, and these guys were struggling, and I was thinking, man, if I can get to that level, this will be a cakewalk. And then I got there, and everybody was so much better than what I'd seen. It was pretty crazy.
It still continues to. The competition gets stiffer every year. Like this year was the heaviest bag in a college event was weighed into Smith Mountain since they started coming to that lake.
Yeah, and
You know, when Caleb and I rolled up to the ramp, we're thinking we've got 17, 18 pounds. Like we've got this thing in the bag. It's normal. Like 2 years ago, it took 14 pounds for this event to win on May 3rd, within 4 days of where we had it this year.
And
Wow.
and you can even see what the college series can produce. Like Jordan Lee just won the Bassmaster Classic. 4 years ago he was one of us. It's crazy to sit back and watch and know that this is really a great channel to try and chase after the pro circuit and that dream of winning the Forrest Wood Cup or the Bassmaster Classic or even just being there. It's an opportunity like no other in the sport.
And it only grew today when Dustin won the Elite Series, so that was pretty crazy as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's to see him do that too. It's a lot of good sticks coming out of the collegiate series, and I know just when we went talking to some of the guys around the expo, when me and James was down there, and a lot of the big name pros were talking about the collegiate guys coming in and how good they are, and it's almost like they're ahead of the game, really. Like they back then they didn't have all the ability to look up lake information or get information or kind of watch YouTube videos as you're growing up to learn how to do these techniques. They kind of had to just go out there and do it, and try to figure it out. So, yeah, I think the collegiate guys are coming out already ahead of the game when they do get to those big events.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if you want to see some guys that truly do love the sport of bass fishing, you got to look at the college series because there are guys out there that are running aluminum boats with coolers built into them to make the live well, and it's insane. You see all types, and what's crazy is that anybody can win these events. You never know what it's going to take to win. We were talking before Smith Mountain. We said we wouldn't be surprised if it took 11 pounds to win, and we wouldn't be surprised if it took 24 to win because that's the way it goes. It's like thinking about last year, they put us on the James River. We thought it was going to be like 6-7 pounds a day to win, and guys were weighing 16, 17 pounds in the college series. Like there were pro tournaments there that weren't commanding that kind of weight. So it's crazy to see how far it's come.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
Well, I just think too on Smith this year, it's just been crazy the weights that they've had. Like, it's been taking big weights.
Smith has been on fire.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy because I was talking like Saturday. I was struggling. I think that was probably the smallest bag that I've caught in 2 weeks, but I think it just was because of the heat. But I know, like even the night before, I went out and just went down a couple rows of docks and had like 16 or 17, and then the next morning I was like, 3 hours in with 4 pounds, and I was like, what is going on? But it's it's just Smith Mountain, and one thing we've definitely learned is you can't fight Smith Mountain. If you try to force something there, it's gonna eat you.
Yeah.
And you gotta go with the flow, and you gotta be willing to drop whatever it was you were doing the day before and start from scratch. And that's a lot of times is your best option. And if we could give any advice about fishing Smith Mountain, that's probably it.
Yeah, it's well, I know y'all had y'all's tournament, and then the Federation come down there, and I think it only took, was it 12 or 13 pounds or something like that to win it? I mean, it was crazy. They had a lot of people didn't even catch no fish.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just a lot of those fish that were so easy to catch a week ago, when it was raining and the water was muddy, at least from what the spots I was fishing, they're just out in the middle of the channel cruising around. I mean, they literally just look like ghosts. You can't do anything with them. Like you can stare down a 30-pound bag all day, but you can't catch 12.
Yeah. And that's tough. You come up under dock sometimes, especially down at the lower end where it's clear, and you can see 20, 25 pounds sitting under the dock, and you're just like, you got to be kidding me. But it's just they go through that funk where they will not bite nothing on that lake, and then you can go 2 coves down and load the boat. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
say, with the amount of fish that you see on Smith Mountain, it should take 30 pounds every single tournament, but yet it never does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we always joke too, if they let a little grass grow in that place, it'd be the best tournament lake in America.
Oh, yeah. Well,
if we could get
that's the problem. You know, they're wanting to stock and they're doing it, the F1 tiger bass, but if you look at a lot of these lakes where they release those fish at that are doing really well, it's all got grass. And Smith needs it. It needs it bad.
Yeah. And I remember even a few years ago when the economy was so bad and the homeowners association, before they did the carp thing, didn't have the money to spray it, and we had that one summer where there was some grass and lake was on fire.
Yeah.
It was. I remember. I think it was 2011 or 2012. It was just crazy how many. You know, not necessarily big ones, but you could go out and you could catch 20 keepers, and it hasn't been that way since.
Yep.
At least not in a day out.
Yeah.
But I've always said, as far as the F1 tiger bass go, as good as they are, I'd love to see like some Canadian strain smallmouth or something like that get put in there. I think they would blow up to 5 or 6 pounds real fast.
Oh yeah. And that's just kind of like how Gaston is too with the spots. You know, some people put some of the big Coosa River spots in there. I wish they would do something like that with Smith, because I think that would be a great lake for it, because it's so deep. You know, you'd have your spots and your smallmouth.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there's some
Well,
spots in smallmouth. In Smith.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you, we've had tournaments. The closest lake that I've ever seen to Smith Mountain in my life, I think, is Lake Norman. Looking at the two, if you didn't know which one you were looking at, you really couldn't tell the difference. But the difference is Norman has those spots in it, and you can go out and, you know, you don't catch big ones, but you can have 9 pounds in 20 minutes and then just go fish for your largemouth. And I mean, it makes for a whole lot more interesting tournament scenario, because everybody's log jammed at 13, 14 pounds, and then you get into 2 or 3 largemouth or a smallmouth or 2 even, and get up to, you know, 17, 18, 19 pounds. But it just really adds a whole nother level of fun fishing, where you get those bites in between that kind of keep you in the game.
Yeah.
Just spots.
Yeah, exactly. Well, James, you got any questions for him tonight, bud?
No, man, they've been doing real good. I know they should probably get with Jerry and ask him about, you know, their fishing team a little bit. Because have y'all fished his pond or anything at his house?
We have. I've never been.
Yeah, I've never been there. No.
Oh man.
I used to mow his grass when I was younger, and I used to fish his pond right behind his house. It's probably like 10 acres, private pond at his house. So
yeah,
and it's good fishing in it. And
I bet.
I know.
Little 10-acre pond, it can be a blast.
Yeah, there's no better bass fishing on earth than a 10-acre pond. That's
yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. You can go out and you know, buy a $60,000 bass boat, but you'll have more fun just fishing on a farm pond.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just an old country. And to be completely honest with you, Jerry's just an old country boy. So, you know, if you ever get the chance, just talk to him and ask him some stuff. I'm sure he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, Russ
Nixon
has actually tried to get in contact with him.
We'll probably try to reach out to him, especially, you know, if you say he's got, you know, especially for the pond.
Yeah, we want to fish that
pond
now.
Yeah, right now, y'all got us sold on this pond. We love some pond action.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been trying to reach Jerry. He knows we exist. He likes our Twitter posts and our Facebook posts and everything, and retweets our stuff. So he knows we're around, and he's been supportive of us.
Oh yeah,
it's just a matter of other faculty at the school at this point.
And I know we kind of bashed the school a little bit earlier, but I'll tell you right now, we love it to death. And Jerry is absolutely the coolest guy ever, like on all levels. Like we love Jerry. He is the man.
Jerry.
Like, Jerry is like he's pretty much life goals. Like
Yeah.
Our school also, at least up until recently, they owned Ivy Lake, and I think here recently, Runkin Pratt has kind of bought it out. I think they're in a co-ownership until the dam gets repaired for it. But as Liberty's owned Ivy, that's been our personal practice lake. Like, we've been able to launch our bass boats there and just go practice new techniques and all sorts of stuff. And so even with the school not helping us out as much as they could have been or we want them to be, we still have a lake to go to that's 10 minutes down the road, requires no gas at all, and we can just work on a bunch of different techniques. We've even had some of our tryout tournaments at it.
Yeah, I mean, Ivy Lake is a very good lake. It used to be really, really good. I haven't fished it in years, but it used to be really good.
That's what we keep hearing. It's still really good this day. I mean, I fished it today, and it was slow, but it'll turn on some days. And, like, my biggest bass ever has come out of that lake. So
It's crazy. Like, last year I was over there, out running the bass boat, graphs, quantum rod and reel, fluorocarbon, this and that, and went out there and caught like a 13-pound bag, and I thought I was doing good. And here I come around the spillway, and there's this little kid up on the bank with a SpongeBob rod that's literally just backing up, dragging a 13-pounder up on the dam.
Yeah. That's
one of the best parts about.
Yeah.
Do what?
I would say we had a guy that come on our show a while back, Casey Reed, that caught a 12-pounder out of there one night fishing with a drop shot, and one afternoon.
He's a good fisherman. We've seen him out there before. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's really good, and he's been kind of helping me and James out. Where we're kind of venturing over in the kayak world. He's really helped us out with some do's and don'ts and all that. So I give it to him, man. I've always fished out a bass boat, and transition over to a kayak is a totally different monster on that part. I'm so used to having everything that I need right at my hands, and now I have to like go down to something smaller. So Casey's been kind of helping me out and talking with me. So yeah, he's a heck of a fisherman.
And those kayaks, that is a heck of a way to catch a lot of big fish. I think my favorite kind of bass fishing, I love to wade in the rivers around here, the James and Ty River and, those type of places, and wade for smallmouth. Especially on the hot summer days, get out there in the cool water and throwing a top water around or throwing a Senko or something through the channel drifts and stuff. That's a good change of pace. I'd love to take a kayak down some of those ripples and stuff.
Well, next time this summer, if y'all go up there to Lake Snowden, and I don't know if y'all go up there to Snowden much or Bedford Power Plant, we all had to get together and go up there and do some.
Yeah, that's an awesome little stretch up there from Glasgow to Snowden. That's one of my favorite sections up there by the bridges and those couple dams up through there.
Yeah. Yeah, next time, man, get with us, and we'll try to all meet up and go up there and shoot some video and have a good time catching some smallmouth. So. But
yeah, for sure. Sure.
But guys,
sounds good.
We're gonna let y'all get going. We know it's late on a weekday, so I work around up there a lot on equipment and stuff like that. So if I see y'all around, you see United Rental truck beeping the horn, that's just me.
Okay, we appreciate it.
Holler.
Yeah.
Say hey back.
Yeah.
Hit the lake up one day.
Yeah. If you ever want to go fishing, just give us a call.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on. Good luck to championship this year and next year, guys. So.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having us on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. No problem, guys. Y'all have a good one, man.
You too. You too.
All right, man. I tell you what, James. I wish they had something like this when me and you were going to school, because I believe that would have been a blast, and how much more we'd have probably learned just within that time of fishing with other people and all that,
Oh, we would have been right in there. If they would even thought about having a bass club, we would have probably started it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were probably the only people fishing like we were fishing in high school.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
be completely honest with you.
I mean, Friday nights and all that, it was not for us to be up there on the lake or, fishing. We didn't do no partying. We wasn't in the partying scene. We was just up there fishing and enjoying it and then we got out of it for a little while. If they had something like that, or just the whole collegiate series in general, I would have probably went to a bigger school. But Other than that, yeah. It's just cool to see how far. I remember watching TV in the FLW series and stuff like that, and watching these collegiate events, and sitting there and thinking, man, I think I could get a grant, go back to school maybe, and try to get on one of these collegiate teams. But yeah, it's just cool seeing how big it's growing, and it's almost grown to a point where you got your Open Series and your Elite Series, or your Coastal Series and your FLW Tour Series. Those events are getting close to that level, with the money and all that. So it's just awesome to see that growing like it is.
Oh, exactly.
But not guys earlier. I don't know why I did it, but I didn't have a mic on or something. So guys, through Blog Talk and all of our other podcasts, will be able to hear us. It was something to do with the YouTube thing, but we were talking about doing a giveaway with our YouTube subscribers. So once I threw a highball number out there of 500, and we was gonna do a giveaway. But granted, I'd like to see that number. That was me dreaming big and wanting to hurry up and get it up there. But I'm thinking if we get 200 subscribers on our YouTube page, we're gonna do a great giveaway. And as the time goes on and we get close, we might start adding more stuff to the giveaway. So, but it's definitely a shirt and hat, and then some great tackle from our great sponsors. So, do us a favor, share with your friends, tell your friends, call them up. Hey man, y'all gotta subscribe to this. They're gonna be doing a giveaway. So, as soon as we get to the 200 mark on subscribers on YouTube, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Right now we're at 65, so we're not that far. It can happen quick. I mean, look how fast we jumped up on Facebook. Granted, we're still not as high as what a lot of these sites are, but we grew pretty quick. So what do you think, James? I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask for. 200?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think for what we're going to be giving away, I think that'd be good.
Yeah, and I mean, and we've been working with some other sponsors, potential sponsors. So who knows what could happen? If we get these sponsors before that happens, and could be more guys. So stay tuned on that. I'll be posting a thing tomorrow about our giveaway and when what we're looking at giving away. So other than that, guys, I don't have too much more to say for tonight. We'll probably be doing another show here in the next couple weeks. Me and James have both been talking about this. I want to start and do a video, like a vlog, and weekends that we go fishing, come on and start talking about how our fishing trip went. So that way we can kind of relay to everybody, hey, this is what we're doing right now. We're catching fish in this area, this body of the water, or whatever. So look forward to doing those. We'll be going down to Bugs Island Sunday for a tournament, so I might end up doing a vlog Monday. But they're all going to be posted up on YouTube. And then if you just don't mind, share them on our on Facebook and like them on Instagram and all that. So, but please go subscribe. If you like this video, this show tonight, please go like it and tell your friends and share it. And but other than that, guys, I hope everybody has a great weekend. James, hope you're able to get out and do some fishing this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll probably go out Sunday for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'll be out Sunday, so I'll either call me. Sometimes when you call me, I catch a big fish. I'm probably going to need you to call me about middle of the day Sunday and ask how I'm doing, so I can maybe catch a big fish. So,
Want me to call you 5 times? You need me to call you 5 times?
Yeah, that's a good possibility. Yeah, so I can catch 5 big ones. But
yeah.
Dad's gonna be like, why's he calling back again? Gotta catch that other one, buddy. Dad, gotta catch that other big fish. But no, man, good luck to you this weekend, and hope everything works out for you. Get out on the water.
All right.
Guys, I want to thank our sponsors. Please go and like your pages on Facebook and visit their websites. Like I say, without them, this show wouldn't be nothing with missile baits, Bigfoot baits, J&J Custom Tackle, Mystery Fishing Crate, and most importantly, Bob's Up the Creek Outfitters. They've done a lot for us, and this page has been really growing, and we couldn't thank y'all enough for helping us let it grow. So this is why we keep doing it. If we wouldn't get no views and wouldn't get no questions and comments back on our stuff, we wouldn't be doing it. So we just appreciate all y'all, and y'all have a great night, great week, and stay tuned for more videos on YouTube. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Good night.